Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It's time for the Champions Gauntlet. We have a hell of a game coming down, and one of the teams, Mr. Lutz, if I'm not mistaken, has one of the greatest team names I think I have ever witnessed.
That's entirely subjective, but we do have Spaghetti Vendetti versus...
That's the one.
Yes, it is. And we have them going up against Syfe Esports in our opening set this evening. And we'll be doing our traditional run-throughs very shortly, but we'll give you a brief rundown as to how the gauntlet will work. And it'll be a first to 3, not a best of 5.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's gonna be an absolute doozy of an event, and I think the fact is we have a lot of good teams in it, Cyber Waste, and anyone can take the cake. But you want to just quickly run through our map pool for us here?
Yeah, certainly we can't have a series without any maps. We have to open.
I mean, we can, but it would just be it would really suck.
It'd be really weird. Now I can just imagine like Final Destination of just Overwatch characters. Either way, we'll run through the pool. To open, we will have Nepal, and then we will move on to our escort discipline, and there is a choice between Gibraltar and Junkatown. And for hybrid, we have Kings Row and Eichenwald. And then for map 4, if we need to go there, we have Hanamura and Volskaya to choose from. And for control, if we end up going the distance, we will be settling it all on Lijiang Tower in the Bright Lights of Big Cities. And if we end up on a tie on any of the maps that are able to be tied, we will go to Ilios to decide all that.
Well, you know what more can you ask for out of that map pool? I mean, there's some absolute classics, there's some fantastic maps, but the fact that we're starting her off any minute now is just absolutely perfect. What more could you ask for? What more would you love to see? And with two teams that we have tonight, I don't know who I favor. I don't know where this is going to go. I honestly don't have an answer for you or a prediction early on here, Cyber Waste.
Well, forget trying to be sound in terms of how these players play. Just in terms of broad appeal, what team would you want to win? I think I know the answer.
Look, when you got a Vendetti against Spaghetti, I'll be honest with you, I can't actually support you to win. I'll tell you why. I love Spaghetti. You know, there's a picture of me with a mustache in a green hat. My friend is convinced I look like Luigi in it.
His that's terrible.
His thoughts are that I should open a pasta restaurant. So Luigi loves a spaghetti. So the fact you got a Vendetti against it, no, sorry, not cheering for you.
That's actually very sound and kind of makes sense.
Well, that's small lobby issues. That's
we're doing it in the reverse order. That's meant to be the end, not the start.
You know, I noticed it, but didn't realize that we were lobby control. So I probably should have said something. Because
these mistakes happen because we have like 2 or 3 different map pools to memorize. So there was going to be a little bit of a slip of the tongue eventually, and it had to happen. If you have that in your bingo card, cross that off.
That doesn't help that I literally opened the wrong spreadsheet for this cast.
Oh,
I got my big note document. I'm looking at this. I hear you reading. Like I look at it. I'm like, wait a second, that's the wrong name. Wait a second, that's the wrong map pool. Cyber, please take over map pool, please. Yeah. What a time to be alive.
Oh, what an age we do live in. Makes me kind of wish I had like a giant, like I remember seeing a documentary on Doc Emmerich, a hockey commentator, and he'd carry around this giant manila folder full of notes for every team in the NHL. But either way, we're not talking about ice hockey, but we are in a land of ice and snow. We are onto Nepal. Syfe will be in the blue on the left, and on the right will be Spaghetti Vendetti, who Graham wants to lose because of their vendetta against Pasta. The gates are about to drop, and we will be brawling in the Sanctum right about now.
I mean, come on. What's wrong with Spaghetti? But now we are, in fact, live, as you mentioned. They are starting to come around the corners. Nothing too bizarre out of these comps yet. We'll see how they elect to brawl it out as they get onto this point. They're starting to put some pressure in, and there's been a great job locking out the Orisa. However, it will live. And instead, it's actually going to be Phregosaurus to be the first one to fall. Claps instantly traded back. Sneaky finds a second one, though, on I'm the Hype. And that might be the difference maker in this fight. The fact that you've lost your Orisa already, but the boop on the Sigma, that's T-Bone down. There's a chance here. There's an opportunity for them to come right back through with the big boot from Ralvar. But now, I don't think they'll be able to stop it out. And the initial cap is going to come through with the Spaghetti Vendetti getting the job done. And now they continue to zone off, push them away, and wait for the re-push coming in from Syfe Esports.
Indeed, they're all just about to bunch up, but the problem is with the current meta, Spaghetti Vendetti are very bunched up, and that May wall is going to be pivotal to cut off the tanks, and maybe this is Syfe's time to strike, but they can't do that when they're in the pit. I'm the Hype got set down to the void below, and the Doomfist also did their part. Sneaky is basically putting on a clinic and a new version of the Sweet Science, and Spaghetti Vendetti, they are working up to a boiling point, and Syfe Esports, they have nothing to answer this current defense, but it is early days, Graham. They do have a lot at the ready.
Yeah, they've got a few tools set to come right back there. There's nothing actually up for the defense, and the Dragon's flying through. That's a great Dragon. Funka had no idea where he was, what the positioning was, and where that Dragon came from. Just got completely with his pants down and a big opening pick onto the Orisa. Now the next step is trying to find the follow-up. Goey's going to find it right on the itch. T-Bone down as well. And this is completely cracked open. They use the tools at their disposal. They only use 2 of them, and they managed to steal that point away. They're already going to have 3 up very quickly to deal with the oncoming 4 that are ready on the opposing side.
Indeed, and the Sigma ults have always been the focal point for a lot of the defenses, offenses, and because of where Sigma actually stands, his not only his movement but his movable shield has had a lot of value. The Blizzard will be put to bear and has been absorbed by Cry's ability, so that is completely backfired at Syfe Esports. They're basically cutting down their opposition, and well, Spaghetti Vendetti, they're gonna have to basically toss that batch out. They're gonna have to get a fresh batch from the pantry and have another go at it, because that basically fell apart in the pot.
Yeah, now it's a tough call trying to get back in. Phregosaurus going down. That's not good. The boy and his dinosaur are going to be pretty upset on that. And we'll see how they try and elect to come back in. This time started to bleed away. Now we're going to be up to just about even. That's going to mean the lead has gone the way of Syfe Esports. Do they have an opening here? Can Spaghetti Vendetti get through? Is there a way in? The Orisa's in deep, but that could be caught. That's going to be punished, in fact. However, Goga also falls to Sneaky, so trade out pretty quick. And the Hanzo's a nice one to find. And again, Sigma ult finds another Sigma. This is continuing to go the way of Spaghetti Vendetti. Someone's actually back on the point right now, though. There's actually 3 players there. To wrap around, find some time while they find the kills that they need to be able to steal it. Ali going down and Itch going down does not look to be the case. The Dragon comes through, and this is looking very bad for Spaghetti Vendetti.
Indeed, they're just about to simmer on the side of Syfe Esports, and it looks like it's about to completely boil over, and they're going to be overcooked. There's the grabs and flux from T-Bone, but it's not really worth all that much. 99 will be put on the card. Overtime will be in effect. It'll be the aim of the game to keep the Mora off the point, but they were there briefly, but it will be sent to the void below, and now it's only a matter of time until Syfe can lock this up, and all the knockback is amusing to at least see.
Yeah, that's oof. That's pretty easy, and I mean, if it's gonna be that easy for the rest of the way, Mr. Lutz, you have to imagine that at the end of the day, Syfe Esports are gonna go home, crack open a little bit of the bubbly, and just have a nice, relaxing evening because that was a really impressive run back. Sure, they got stunted at the beginning, but after that, it was smooth sailing, running all the way up 100%.
Yes, indeed. We if you're not of drinking age here in Australia, a little bit of the bubbly can also be just a fizzy beverage of your choice, and I can partly get behind that. Now we move on to the village, and we see the Symmetra on the field, and Fragosaurus really wanting to show off why Symmetra is such a strong choice in this current meta. Look at the damage dealers. Fragosaurus is sneaky. Sim and Reaper. That has been the call of the day for the last little while now, and we'll see how this all pans out. But it's not going to be looking too hot for Syfe Esports because Clap had just gotten clapped down.
Yeah, this is just pretty back and forth fight, pretty even clapping right now, but the Reaper's out there doing a ton of damage, as is the Sim. That alone is going to be enough just to scare them back. Now we'll see if they can make a long-term hold here on the point, or whether it's going to be short-term.
Perhaps a long-term now, because there is so much healing and so much shielding on the side of the Spaghetti Vendetti. They might be a little bit tougher to crack as opposed to Sanctum, where there was an open part of the point. That open part is non-existent now. There is the couple lessons from Hector Pascal, just trying to bring the pressure down and just ease things through for the side of Syfe. But Fragosaurus and Sneaky have put up the stop sign and basically forced a retreat out.
Yeah, this is... Oh, actually, there's a quick little trade back onto a pair of kills, Fragosaurus and Miley. It's a little questionable letting those two both go down just to the extension of maybe trying to find some kills. That could be punished, but it looks like the spawns are going to be able to get back up and in just in time. They might be a little bit staggered out here as they do try and get right forward back in onto this point. They're trying to pressure around, trying to find these kills. But the Reaper, Death Blossom is out, and it finds I Am the Hype. And it's okay to cry as well. So the Orisa and Sigma down. That is a very punishing play out of the Reaper. 70% now and climbing. It's so easy.
And the Symmetras would just be looking at each other and going, my world is balanced, your world is in chaos, and I'm the one that is bringing it. And now the window for Syfe Esports to win this outright is slowly closing, and they basically have to go now, or it's going to be all over, and we're going to go to the last point, and now we're starting a full-blown brawl.
The kill is going to be so important. What's the first one? It's Funky going down, but it's actually quickly traded back the other way. This is still such an even fight. The brawl is on, and Itch finds another one, and that might do it. That might be the pivotal pick, especially with the Reaper still alive and fiending out there. I Am the Hype has fallen, and it looks like we might just see 100-0 clean shutdown. The Wrecking Ball is in on the point. That's going to delay a little bit. Allow some of these spawns to come in, but the kills are going to be so pivotal. And again, none of these kills are going the way of Syfe Esports. They're just getting completely stonewalled. Another Death Blossom's out, and that will surely do it here. No one can get there. 100-0.
And that's how you bounce back and put up a giant wheat wall for Spaghetti Vendetti. And, well, that was the tale of 2 points between Sanctum and the village, and just a full-blown showing of how powerful the Symmetra and Reaper, basically the entire setup of Spaghetti Vendetti, once they get stuck in on these types of maps, it just shows how strong it is at the moment. Because you have, not only do you have a high damage output for the Symmetra, but you have so much shielding to chew through with the Sigma and in that case the Orisa. And now we're moving on to the final point of Nepal, and who will actually take the first step to winning the series.
Oh, that's the million-dollar question. Who can get things started off the bat? And Fragosaurus going down to Goga's very lovely opener. That puts them all on the back foot, and especially with the Pharah up in the sky or in depth from above, it might just be a very punishing opening pick here. T-Bone's in a lot of trouble. Thunk has already fallen. Can they find their remaining kills? Yeah, with E, Sneaky's down. They had no answer for the pharmacy combo. This Clap is saying easy Clap, dropping him dead.
Indeed, and well, that's basically caused a full-blown shuffle for Spaghetti Vendetti. You see Fragosaurus moving towards the McCree and then moving once again towards the forest. So he's wanting to have a go at Clap and try a duel of sorts, and might have a distinct upper hand because of the Mercy in the back pocket. It'll be Rava and Clap versus Millie and Fragosaurus in a duel of the pharmacies, and Fragosaurus will start that one off strong and want to fight back to Syfe's control of the point.
Now the duel is in for round two, but Fragosaurus getting the Mercy pick is, well, that's going to be the great start on the rebound. Means no res is in. Clap should just be able to be cleaned up at some point when one hits a rocket. There's a rocket. Another one. Come on. Okay, Fragosaurus dies. Somehow Clap lives. Impressive. Most impressive. But there's a lot of fighting on the point, and now Clap just reigns in the death. 3 quick kills, and that'll do it. They got clapped by Clap.
Yes, indeed. It was less a Clap and more just the giant comedy fist from Monty Python, just dropping from the top of the frame and then squashing the team like a bug.
Well, now can they find a way back in? This is do or die on map 1 at 82%. You don't get many opportunities left. And Millie and Fragosaurus, again, pharmacy combo. They need to have better luck this time. Fragosaurus needs to hit some of those big-time rockets. Haven't connected quite yet. It's Goga instead getting a pair. T-Bone and Funk it down. There's going to be a quick res by Millie, but Millie's taken out. Hecto Pascal grabbing both the pharmacy combo. And this might just be the hold that was needed. The hold that was destined as they try and hang on to map 1. A pair of punch-down kills. It's okay to cry. Taking out his Sigma compadre, T-Bone. And that will do it. Syfe taking map 1.
And in dominating fashion too. It did look a little bit shaky, even on the opening map and especially on the village. But after that, Syfe had just basically had enough, and go on the Doomfist just basically ran roughshod on everybody that he faced up against. You'd almost say, why isn't he going for a championship belt in the World Boxing Association? But that's a different thing for a different day. So now Syfe is 1 map up. Spaghetti Vendetti have the power of choice on our next map, and we are moving very swiftly to Watch Point Gibraltar for our next map.
That's pretty nice. I'm on board for that. That was a very quick pick. No, normally we sit here in the lobbies and we gotta banter for like 5-10 minutes while they actually decide what map they go to. But Millie was sitting right there. I think probably had Gibraltar as the preloaded type in to get ready to go, because we're getting right back into this. No break, no pause. We're already into the next map. I like it. Keep the pace up. And honestly, if you're Millie, you know, you just dropped map 1, so it's an opportunity to get right back in there ASAP and try and respond. Don't let anyone get too comfortable. You just kind of fly right through. So, quick chance to rebound, not too much time to talk about it, just time to do.
Yeah, and also with the smaller the intermission in between maps, no matter the game, or in between sets, no matter the game, some teams or some players might even take the opportunity to sort of chill out or view it as basically icing their opposition, and that could end up backfiring if they're not careful. So this sort of rapid, sort of hurry up offense and defense just to change between maps is a welcome change. I actually am a big fan of it. So Syfe will be on the left there, 1 map up, and on the right we have Spaghetti Vendetti wanting to make things go al dente and very easy to consume, and just all these food puns, I'm not helping myself.
And I do just want to give a quick shout out of respect, because Cyber, I respect the hell out of you for literally dying and still coming out and casting with me. so I didn't have to do this
Dude,
alone. So much love.
I'll be honest with you, man. I've missed it, and well, sickness be damned. It's I've been through worse, so nothing out of the ordinary.
We got Michael Jordan Cyberwaste here rocking the flu game or something. Big time plays, but we are live now into it as they do start to come around the corner, and an interesting hold coming out right now from Syfe Esports. Tucked away in the corner, making sure they get close in for that Reaper. That is Clap once again on that pick. Seeing if they can make that hero sing while it's all over the top right now for Spaghetti Vendetti. Trying to set up some positioning, try and make them deal with two fronts with the barriers that they have up, and see if they can find a way to bust this bunker.
This is the most literal bunker. They're all a lot of the team members are basically in the room that's under the ditch, trying to employ a DFTM or don't freaking touch me type of setup and keep the rest of the opposition at an arm's length. And we're having a real elongated skirmish, and it's looking to be a back forth affair. But Cry being put to bed might be a huge deal if the Sigma goes down early. It looks like things are starting to stabilize on both sides, and Syfe wanting to take advantage of this, especially with Clap getting the frag on the itch, and then Fragosaurus will follow suit. And if the opposition don't get a reply frag, Clap did end up going down, but the Primal Rage only tickled the side of Syfe and not really properly dealt with. And now it looks like things are stabilizing for Syfe, and this is a rough trot for Spaghetti Vendetti just based on the position of the cart. Right in the ditch.
I'm impressed that T-Bone actually managed to make it out there too. That looked really rough. We almost didn't even see T-Bone get out. But the Mini Diva escapes and it's right back onto the Sigma pick for T-Bone. So right back into the fray as Fragosaurus with the Dragons. That's a bunker buster for you. That's going to force some displacement. But for the time being, the Dragons, they were a little bit to the left, and that allowed the bunker to just tuck in tight. And that means they found a pair of kills. They managed to make this work a little bit. The dropping of the Orisa is going to displace them heavily. But Clap, again, is just hitting all these shots with the shotguns.
And putting the fire in Hellfire, and Fragosaurus gets a rock chucked in his face to really rub it in. And, well, Syfe, starting as they means to go on, the cart has not moved an inch since the initial engagement, and it's only going from bad to worse for Spaghetti Vendetti. And we're moving into 1 minute 15, and it's turning into quite the puzzle. And it's basically a Rubik's Cube that rotates and changes on its own, and they're running out of time to solve it. They're wanting to have another go. There goes the Dead Plus.
Oh!
That's claiming a big pair, and Syfe, well, really laying the hammer down, torching everything in their path with Hellfire and rocket punches. And now the hourglass is running out of sand for the side of Spaghetti Vendetti, and they're running out of water to use to even generate anything at all for sustenance. They're really gonna have to make this work, and I see nothing of use in Spaghetti Vendetti's arsenal, and that Convalescence is only gonna make things a lot more difficult as we move into sub 25.
Their own Coalescence is almost around the corner. They've actually got a lot of tools that will be up momentarily, but the million-dollar question, Mr. Lutz, is it too little, too late? They try and come through with the Coalescence, but Fragosaurus on that Reaper has gone down. That's the offense's attempt to answer, and now there's a lot of displacement coming through, but they're going to find all these kills. It is working out last minute. Spaghetti Vendetti managing to pull on through.
The Sigma in the trailer answered, what is that melody? That is a victory sting. That is a team bell. And Spaghetti Vendetti will be saying, finally, we broke it. But it's not over yet. They haven't got the checkpoint. They do have a chance to engage on the side of Syfe, but they are wasting no time in doing so.
And the tools, they're all coming up here. They're being popped off instantly. There's so many ultis on the field right now. There's nothing really to try and delay it. All they have is that single Lucio ult coming out, trying to do what it can, but the cleanup, it's going to be so strong. The kills, they are going the way of Syfe Gaming so far. Clap getting 2 more, and now no one can get to the cart. Round 1, yeah, they get a little bit further than it looked like they were going to, but that's all we saw out of Spaghetti Vendetti. They got nowhere.
Oh gee, that is a really awkward place for the card to end up, because that really limits your options in terms of defense. And if perhaps you're not as up to speed, or you're not used to how Sigma's played, or just basically the state of play, this could be a one and done thing if Spaghetti Vendetti aren't careful. And I'm hoping for their sake, and I'm pretty sure for the viewers at home, they'd want a little bit of a stronger fight from them.
Yeah, that's honestly, I want to kick back and kind of point to a swap that just made me lean back and question is why late in there did Spaghetti Vendetti pull out a Widow pick?
Your guess is as good as mine.
It seemed a little questionable to me with the Widow at the tail end there. Really didn't see like it was doing much benefit, especially when they're just trying to get to the next point. Maybe if they got it to cap through, yeah, you got more time on the clock. You can try and go for some of those picks in a more elongated duel. But at that point, you're going to be point blank. I really don't think the Widow's going to have that high an impact. Even if it hits a lot of shots, it's still so difficult when you're up against the wire with no time. I don't like it.
Even with speed, you'd be better off doing the likes of Tracer or something like that. And Syfe really wanted to set sail. Look at this setup. We're seeing the old pirate ship cue all the pirates music, all the shanty tunes, and well, Syfe definitely forcing Spaghetti Vendetti to go on the back foot. And no matter how much is absorbed and turned into shield by Sigma, it's not gonna do all that much. Timo got dangerously low and actually brought back to life, but Goga being gone first, it could be a chance for a stabilization, but it's quickly snatched away by the chain gun of Clap. And well, that is pretty much done and dusted, wouldn't you say, Mr. Morrison? That's the bell, and that is another map win for Syfe. One map away from winning the series.
Yeah, okay. What time is it right now? 2:30? Okay, half an hour for a wait, what? Like, these two maps, you know, at least we went 3 segments on the opener, but this is still just being lightning fast. This was a super quick map, and honestly, with how quickly Millie and Spaghetti Vendetti picked this map, like how prepped they were to just jump right into it, I expected something. Like, come on, I expected at least a point. I mean, I expected some sign of life. Like, I'll be honest with you. That's
give them a little bit of slack, Graham. It's a new meta, new heroes. Perhaps it's taking a while for things to sort of gel together and people getting used to it. People are still getting used to it now, so perhaps they wanted to play Gibraltar to sort of figure out where there's holes in the game plan and try to plug them up in real time. Clearly, it backfired for them.
Hear me out, though. Hear me out. If that was the case, why would you not take a little bit more time between maps? You got bodied pretty heavily in the later, like on the last segment of that map. I don't think I think it was 100 to 0 or pretty close to it on the last segment. You got run back from like 67% to 167 on the first segment. So like you're having a bit of a rough go already. Why just dive right into another map? Why not take a minute and talk about it? Again, this King's Row pick, we're coming right in super quickly, ready to go right into it. So to me, that honestly screams that either you just believe in your team so much that you don't need to talk about it and you can just jump back in without having anything to carry through. But I don't really think that's the case. I think that's almost more defeatist. I think it's almost thinking that the series might be over. It's like, yeah, honestly, let's just get in there, get it over with. Of the two, that's what it feels like to me.
People might think that you're being a little bit too heavy-handed on them, but it's not without a little bit of founding, because that is a good thing to note. Usually, for a lot of the tournaments that we've done in the past, Graham, we've seen teams sort of take maybe 5-10 minutes between mats. Maybe that's a bit extreme, but we've seen them take at least a little bit of time to sort of breathe, find their bearings, and things like that.
Yeah, like
There's been...
me and you would have time to go like at least fill up a water bottle or something in the gaps that we've had. Like normally, what we normally see. The fact that we're not seeing any gap like that, obviously, Syfe Esports, they just want to dive right in. Makes sense. You're rolling, you're looking good, you're feeling confident, you want to get in, you want to carry that momentum through, you want to keep it going. The fact that there is no attempt to even like throw a wrench into that momentum, a hiccup, you know, draw things out, take a pause, whatever it takes really to try and stunt some of that momentum. There's nothing. They are literally giving one of their free opportunities to try and slow the pace, get themselves a chance to breathe, and just diving right back in. I don't know how I feel about that, but we are live here on Kings Row.
Indeed we are, and Fragasaurus is once again getting into a little bit of a tiff with Clap on the Farah. And it's basically whoever's pharmacy goes down first is going to basically lose a leg in this entire deal. And looking at the damage exchange, there have been no frags yet, but Spaghetti Vendetti have had to focus a lot of their movement on healing as opposed to outputting damage, and that's not a good start. But we do have a brief trade between heroes, one for the side of Spaghetti Vendetti and one for the side of Syfe. But this convalescence from Hectopascal could be the disbursement and the turn of the tide. And with the okay to cry getting the frag of the Sneaky, it's looking like that's going to force the retreat.
And Clap again with that free range, just got a lot of damage rained in and found a kill. Managed to delay long enough, and Fragasaurus in a lot of trouble again. That just means Clap's going to have control of the skies. And again, I mean, it's early on, but I'm not seeing a lot to instill any confidence out of Spaghetti Vendetti. And makes me question why they didn't take longer to get into this.
Well, that's the choice that they've made, and we'll see if that's if it's one that they want to stick with. I really want to bring up the fact that Sigma as well has had a lot of damage output and a lot of good placements with his shields, but you have to really note his big rock throws and the range on his.
Oh, that's huge!
Well, it's not really much good if you have a rocket shoved down your throat. That'll be Fragasaurus claiming a trifecta there. And, well, we were saying, how are they going to... I was thinking to myself, how are they going to break it? Well, break it with the old dose of justice. That's never led anybody astray for the entire time that Overwatch has been a game, even back in its beta phase. And Spaghetti Vendetti, they start their run on King's Road. The first point will be captured, and they have 4:15 to hand, or thereabouts.
Baffling play from Fragasaurus there to manage to pull that off. I don't even know how he got in, how they let him get that deep and get that barrage off to find 3, how it wasn't traded out. Brilliant from him, and absolute stealing of a set of kills allows them to get this first point, and now maybe they can roll 4th. It is going to be Fragasaurus doing a lot of the work with Millie on that Mercy, trying to cause some problems. Now the Coalescence comes out. They're trying to find anything. Clap once again as Fragasaurus. Sneaky's going to fall too. And now the offense once again being stifled. Clap's got another. That's Millie down. No Mercy, no res. And now it's just the cleanup crew.
Yep, get the mop, get the bucket. We have had a nasty spill over here. And everybody's been bought out. And Syfe know this. They've moved extremely far forward and basically guarding the payload with an iron fist. They might smell that there's something afoot though, with them being in the hotel on the side of Spaghetti Vendetti. And yeah, they have. They've decided to fall back on the side of Syfe, and this could be nasty if the side of Spaghetti Vendetti are caught off guard. And there is the engagement.
Is he gonna find stuff? And oh my lord, it is. Fragasaurus doing well, but Clap turns around, finds 2. They'll be taken out by Fragasaurus, but those kills might just be enough to allow them to hold. The res will come right back into Clap, so we are gonna have this pharmacy duel. And oh, with Fragasaurus going down, Millie follows. Goga getting both of them. Doomfist not necessarily what you'd expect to take out an entire pharmacy combo, but he got the job done. And, that's still it's going to be so dire for Spaghetti Vendetti to try and come back 4th.
Sneaky with a bit of a strange use of his media strike, but more than likely just to try and regroup with Spaghetti Vendetti, who have been given a little bit of room to play with against Syfe. And Syfe will be aiming to sort of hold them off by about where they are now. There is the flux from T-Bone. Didn't really get all that much aside from a little bit of displacement and a little bit of a ow that hurt. And we're seeing both sides try and advance or put up the wall. And Cry has given Syfe a big advantage getting rid of the Moira. And yep, there is a blue feed for Syfe. Cry and Goga, proving why the pairing of Sigma and Doomfist have been extremely strong since Sigma's introduction and this current version of Overwatch. It's basically a 101 right there.
Yeah, and I'm just going to apologize briefly as well. I think a lot of people caught me very early in the series calling Millie Miley. Guess I have Miley Cyrus on the brains or something. But Millie not going to be have much team to support. His Clap just unloads the barrage on 3. Millie is left alive with Fragosaurus. It's just a pharmacy combo. And yeah, that's not fun. You spawn it. Okay, long range spam somehow takes Millie out. That is not what you want.
No, it is not.
Yeah, this is all crumbling.
You know what you don't. You know what else you don't want? You don't want to be running out of time, and that is exactly what's happening to Spaghetti Vendetti. We're moving into 45 seconds, and the only ultimate that's even close to being up is obviously Fragosaurus with the barrage, but a few of the bigger ones that you'd really want: the Coalescence, the Supercharger, and especially the Flux from T-Bone. You'd really want those, but they're not even close to going online. And Syfe might be aware of this and are really wanting to put the clamp down. We'll see how this goes.
Frag, though, falling early. Again, that's not what you want. You don't want your Pharah being the first casualty in every engagement. There hasn't even been an attempt to res coming through. Clap's going to go down to the Coalescence, though, so that gives them a window. This isn't going to be a great opportunity, but there's a chance for them to come back through. They need to find the kills, but again, the feed is just so blue. Goga on the Doomfist doing way too much work. Yeah, we got the barrage, but it results in Ralivar punching down Fragosaurus. Round 1 done. It got further than I thought it was going to, but still, that's it's getting a little hard to watch.
So yeah, well, basically it was on the back of a huge ult. But I think it was Fragosaurus to break that entire thing open, and there was no follow-up heroics after that. Syfe just saw that there was a weakness. They'd had enough and basically shut the door on Spaghetti Vendetti, and the path to victory is clear. The box of victory will be just in the middle of the streets phase, just outside the bookshop, and a little bit short of the pub. So, I think the Reaper might be sharpening the scythe of his own to perhaps basically just put a blemish on the record for Spaghetti Vendetti.
Now what? Where do they pick? It is going to be the pharmacy. This time it's going to be Sneaky, though. They're rocking Fragosaurus on the Doomfist. See if Sneaky has better luck, because one thing I think we've pretty consistently said has been that Clap has been winning this duel. It feels to be that case. It's the way it seems to go. So I do like it. Swapping out to Sneaky, you might see a little bit of change come through. But, okay, I was going to say, I'm the hype's not seriously running Reinhardt, and thankfully he's not. Now it is the new duel, Sneaky versus Clap, and Sneaky gets the job done very early on. Nice little change up. Rez is going to come back in on Clap, but now can Clap do anything to shut down Sneaky? Is there opportunity here? That's what we're pretty much waiting on. That's going to be the key duel. There's a little bit of a brawl going down in the lower area. Sneaky's actually come over to support on that, but this next skill is so very important. That might well decide the game. Who wins this engagement? And Clap finding Itch is huge. Fragosaurus is going to crumble after that one, and the rest of these kills should start to go the way of Syfe Esports. They are rolling. This is going to be nice and easy, and they're staggering Millie fairly heavily. There it is.
Yeah, and you wouldn't call it a first fight win and then a subsequent capture, but call it 1.5 fights at most. And now Syfe, knowing this, and I want to stretch out the defense of Spaghetti Vendetti as much as possible. We've already gathered near the yellow box of victory, but Syfe definitely aware of this after that scouting mission, and are looking to plan their attack as the payload will start to move forward. Oh, the Orisa board extremely low, but I'm the hype. Brought back to life, but Clap not so much.
Sneaky might just be the hero that Spaghetti Vendetti have needed. Another kill coming onto Goga after winning another duel with Clap. Sneaky is going absolutely off on fire right now, and that might be the only saving grace that we have for Spaghetti Vendetti. Might be a window for them to come back through. There's an opportunity.
Whoa, and Sneaky gets a rock right to the face from the Sigma of Cry, and Syfe basically revved up the war machine and are running right through everybody on the side of Spaghetti Vendetti. Shaw's Funker got brought back by Millie, but didn't really last long. Sorry, Reinhardt, you are being decommissioned now by Hype. And Syfe basically forcing the hand of Spaghetti Vendetti, and you can tell by a couple of the changes, especially Millie on the Lucio, just wanting to close the gap, and they might not even be able to. No, they will not.
Jeez. Wow. That is quite literally GG that early. Unbelievable. That's such a stunning series from Syfe. They just looked absolutely dominating bell to bell. They dropped one segment on the opening map, and after that, it was just complete control from them. They looked so good all across the board. And, you know, I was pulling for Spaghetti Vendetti to try and pull it back, but they just didn't have answers. They didn't have anyone that could step up when needed. Sneaky came close. Sneaky was the only one able to shut down Clap. But you shut down Clap, and then Goga's just going to find like 4 kills, apparently. That's the way it seemed to go. Just huge plays out of those 2 DPS out of Syfe. And obviously a good team around them supporting them. Wow, that was unexpected. I thought this was going to be a way closer series.
I do know that's early days in the Gauntlet, but even still, Syfe have taken no prisoners and have basically put an emphatic W into their column. Just like you said, dominant from bell to bell. Only Sanctum was the section where they looked like they were perhaps not quite all together, but then basically Syfe put on a clinic from end to end. And well, I'd ask who your MVP is, but I think we're narrowed down to 2 choices as to who it would be.
Yeah, it's I'm taking probably the one that you're not expecting me to take.
Show it.
I think you're probably expecting me to take Clap as MVP.
No, actually, I was expecting you to
I'm
take
taking Goga. Yeah,
I was expecting you to take Goga, actually.
You know me so well. We cast too much together. I love it.
Like it was basically a coin flip between Clap and Goga, to be quite honest. And I'm just more impartial to Rocketeering and Fire plays, so that's totally biased on my part. But I will call Clap my MVP, but Goga is definitely up there, and especially with the current state of play with meta, a good Doomfist is invaluable to your squad, your success, and having one of given how sharp Goga looked, he'd be a very safe bet.
Yeah, and like you know, like they set each other up, because as soon as Clap was the one getting focused, Goga just pop off with a 3K. As soon as Goga was getting focused, Clap would pop off with a 3K. There was no, like, it was just 3K versus 3K versus 3K, bouncing back and forth all day. So honestly, both of those guys deserve the MVP shoutouts. I think though, that'll be it for a little bit. We're taking a quick break. I've been Graham Morrison, aka Graham Cass. joined by Justin, I am Cyberwaste Loots. Those are our Twitter handles. But we'll be taking a bit of a longer break, actually. That series went way faster than I realized. We'll be back at 8:30 p.m. for Project Blackout versus Washed in Scuff.